We're hosting a new series of camps called Emerge Camps, and they are a youth life skills camp for ages 10 to 14, and they're going to be held here in the city of Warwick at 3 locations, and we're really going to focus on making kids more well-rounded and teach them things that they're not necessarily learning in a traditional learning environment. So for the first 2 days of camps, it'll be at McDermott Pool in Warwick, and we'll be working on water safety, drowning prevention, how to identify a distressed swimmer, how to respond to scenarios that maybe they've never been in and might be one day. And that obviously means a lot to me being a swimmer. And what's wild to me was that it took me being a lifeguard at 29 years old last summer to learn CPR, first aid, how to identify a distressed swimmer. And I've been swimming my whole life.
I was just gonna say, really?
Yes, I'm serious. That's never taught to us as athletes. It was never taught to me at the Olympics because I guess people just assume, why would they need it? And so for me, I'm sitting in training with all of these high school age athletes and lifeguards learning about CPR first aid. And I'm like, how great would this be had I learned this 15 years ago? And so that's part of what we want to do, at least with the water portion of the camp, is give kids these skills that they will inevitably carry on with them throughout the rest of their lives. We're limiting phone time, we're going to take away their devices, and we're going to force them to be present and do this. Which I know, crazy, we'll see how it works, but it's just another element of getting these kids out of the shells and the comfort zone that they're in right now.
Yep.
So another thing that we'll be working on with the kids is breathing, breath work, meditation, visualization, all of these skills that can allow them to respond to a high stress scenario, but do it calmly and confidently. And I think that's a huge life skill, whether you're an athlete or not. It doesn't matter. You might be on an airplane one day or in a grocery store one day and you have to respond to something. They're going to have those skills. They're going to have the confidence to do it.
Not only will the kids be given skills for in the water, but also out in nature. And as we learned earlier, Rocky Point is a great place for that.
And it's what we're calling a rewilding day. So we're getting the kids out in nature. There's going to be an indigenous people's experience. So we'll have members of the Narragansett Indian tribe come, talk to them about the land that they've lived on for their entire lives. And then we're gonna have Save the Bay come in. They're gonna teach the kids about coastline, keeping it clean, looking at our Narragansett Bay and thinking that, wow, 40, 50 years ago, we weren't able to swim in this because it was so dirty. But now today, thanks to the efforts of Save the Bay and other organizations, we're able to swim in these waters and enjoy them every summer. So there's going to be an element of learning, but also fun, and there's gonna be food trucks, and it's really a celebration, capping off an amazing week for the kids, and just getting them outside is so important to us.
I'm a clumsy swimmer at best and wish I had a program like this when I was young.
I know that when I have kids one day, I definitely want my kids going to this camp, because in the future I see nothing but more technology and cell phones and screens, and I feel like being out in nature and learning these life skills is so critical to shaping a person into who they'll become as an adult.
When I explained to Elizabeth that I had a fear of the water, she said I wasn't alone.
I think that's one thing that we're also trying to hone in on, is getting these kids exposed to the water at a young age, because I know from my experience in the swimming world, I do a lot of swimming lessons with kids in clinics and getting them into the water, so that I have experience on that side. But then what I'm seeing more recently is older people, in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, feeling self-conscious about not knowing how to swim. And because they feel that way, they don't end up putting themselves in swimming lessons, because who wants to be the 40-year-old in a lesson with 10-year-olds? It's an interesting dynamic. And so how can we mitigate that from happening? Well, we just introduce them to the water as a kid at this camp, and we get them comfortable.
Now we know what Emerge camps are, but we need some more information.
And they'll be held the first 2 weeks of August, Monday through Friday. And again, everything is in Warwick. So the first 2 days are at McDermott Pool. The second 2 days are at the Event Factory in Warwick. And then the last day is at Rocky Point. Everything is centrally located in Rhode Island, which was our goal. And we've been so fortunate to have the city of Warwick back all of this. The support of the mayor. We've had so many corporate sponsors. It's just been a really beautiful merge of private, nonprofit, town, city, all of these entities coming together for one common goal, and that is just to make these kids better and give them more confidence and allow them to blossom into what they can be one day.
For any kids or parents of kids watching, what message would you want to leave them with?
I'm just a normal girl from Rhode Island. You know, like, I don't come from a long lineage of Olympic swimmers or athletes, you know? Like, I'm just like a blue collar girl that worked really hard and had a big dream and made it happen. And so I think for anybody, I just hope they find me relatable, and through that, they can really pursue their dreams and know that they can do it. Because I think if you told 7-year-old me that I was actually going to go to the Olympics 3 times and win Olympic medals, I'd be like, that's really cool, like, but I don't believe you. So it's like, I want these kids, I want 7-year-old Elizabeth to believe it.
Yeah.
You know, like, I want these kids to believe it. Whatever it is they pursue, they don't need to be athletes, I don't care. So it's just, it's nice to be, you know, in a position where I can hopefully inspire these kids and leave them thinking, you know, maybe I can do that. Maybe I can be a touring musician one day, or an EMT one day, or a mom one day, whatever it is that they want to pursue. I just hope they know that it's possible.